What's up, everyone? Dan here, Crypto Capital Venture, August 2nd, almost said July 2018. I just started the live stream and then stopped it by accident, so hopefully I want to definitely give it a minute to make sure that this is working right. So if you're in the chat and you can actually hear me this time, please let me know. How low are we going? What's up, everybody? Last time 50 EMA crossed the 200 on the downside on the 4-hour chart. Litecoin dropped 50%. This cross just happened again. Interesting. We'll definitely check that out, Crypto Hippie. Good eye. Good eye. Sound good? All right, cool. I just wanted to make sure. I always screw these intros up, man. It's the only thing that makes me nervous about these live streams. So what I want to do in this live stream is, first off, I just want to hang out with you guys. The market's down right now. I don't know, who's going to come on this. I just decided to do it last second. But, markets are down. We tend to have some fun when markets are up. We do live streams. So I want to get a sense of what you guys are doing in this down market, see how everybody's feeling. But I just came across and this is actually what spurred this live stream. And first we're going to start with this article from an interview with Binance CEO. Then we're going to jump over to some Twitter happenings that I found interesting. And then we're going to talk about some Litecoin and Bitcoin charts and what the heck is happening right now. But yeah, this article is actually what made me decide to do a live stream, because I wanted to do a video on it when I read it. And I was just like, I don't feel like doing a video right now, doing editing and all that good stuff. So I'll try and kind of cruise through this article, but it was a really good article. So CP, as his friends apparently call him, didn't know that, is down to earth for a crypto billionaire. And by the way, the title of this article is The Future of Blockchain According to the CEO of the world's biggest crypto company. And we should focus on things like this, especially when the markets are down, to give us some insight into the future of this space. So the CEO of Binance, which emerged out of nowhere last year to become the world's biggest cryptocurrency exchange, isn't given to boasting or swaggering pronouncements. I love how slow this website is. So many ads on fortune.com. They must make a fortune in ads. So here are 3 insights I gleaned from CZ, the CEO of Binance, during the course of our interview. What follows is a loose paraphrasing of his comments. So CEO of Binance. So number 1, the future is decentralized, but will take a while to arrive. And that's a huge, important point that I think all of us should realize right now, especially as the market is going back down from all-time highs. People are leaving the market. We are at the beginning. If you're still here and if you're still chilling around in this market, you are, you're one of those early adopters. You're one of those early believers. And it can take some time before, our investment pays off in many different ways, not just monetarily. So Binance announced its first acquisition this week in the form of Trust Wallet, a wallet app that also serves as a browser for decentralized applications. The move is a bet by Binance that more people will start using decentralized services, which provide more privacy since they don't rely on servers controlled by any single organization. While there's been an explosion of decentralized apps in the last 2 years, the most famous example is the collectibles site CryptoKitties. Everybody remembers that. I'm sure you remember that. So Crypto Hippie's still in the chat talking about the 50 EMA cross on the 4-hour. What's up, Jim Flanagan? How's it going, man? What's up, Phil? I think the heavy rains in PA, New Jersey are flooding the market with negativity. Phil, I've been working here tonight in this office, and my window's like right next to my desk, and it just downpours for like 2 minutes, and then it stops. It's been doing that all day long. So Tech Lord says, Dan, next support for Bitcoin at 7,278. Definitely going to look at that on Bitcoin charts. Dan Best says, keep cost averaging. Definitely don't disagree with that, Dan. An awesome name, by the way. So by 2020, CZ, CEO of Binance, says we'll see broader use of blockchain-based messaging, games, social networks, and rating systems. The next stage after that will be e-commerce, he expects. So really good point. And what's cool is I get to work in this space, and I'm currently working with startups that are working on platforms like this, right? Games, messaging, social networks. They're building these things right now. And, as they roll out pieces of their platform, I can see that they aren't the most smoothest operating platforms, but this is a step in the right direction. So point number 2, he came up with out of this interview with CEO of Binance: popular blockchains are under threat. Right now, the Ethereum blockchain rules the roost when it comes to hosting decentralized apps and defining standards. But deep-pocketed competitors, notably Tezos, EOS, and Definity, believe they can dethrone Ethereum by offering faster and more efficient protocols. So who will win? That's the question. That's what everybody's talking about. Ethereum, will it remain king? To my surprise, CZ thinks none of the current contenders are poised for long-term success because they're too slow. While the criticism has long been leveled at Ethereum, CZ says any blockchain designed for general smart contracts, as the current competitors are, won't be swift enough. Instead, he thinks the existing blockchains will seed the field to more specialized ones. And the last point, I might not read all of that, but the cryptocurrency market is big enough to share. In our interview, CZ was unfailingly polite, equally happy to talk about big blockchain ideas or make small talk about the restaurants in the Richmond area. This was actually the coolest point of the article. He basically said, talking about Coinbase and Binance and about getting along and kind of respecting each other, supporting each other. He says he doesn't see an Uber Lyft style fight to the death for market share. Instead, CZ says Coinbase appreciates the groundwork Binance is laying in Malta, while Binance is grateful for Coinbase's work helping U.S. lawmakers to understand crypto. We have a very good relationship with Coinbase, he said. So looks like Binance and Coinbase, BFFs, best friends forever. I want to close this site because it's slowing everything down. Sorry, Fortune.com, but that wasn't cool. So I wanted to share that article with you. Thought it was interesting. Binance and Coinbase kind of supporting each other, but obviously Binance killing it in terms of market share right now. So Mexican Charlie Lee says big money trying to shake out weak hands again so they can buy in at cheaper prices. Jim Flanagan, Apple one company, market cap at 1 trillion, 4 times the size of all crypto. It will all grow soon. Haroon Raja, hi Dan, what's up? What's up, Haroon? Welcome to the channel, hanging out in the chat with us, appreciate it. Dino Party, what's up fam, I'm here. Coinbase is charging $2.99 to buy a Litecoin, used to be $1. What's up, John Kim? John Kim in the house. John, I actually have the tweet up. You ran into, what was his name? You ran into Sean Lee. Is that really him on Twitter? I'm really curious. Did you confirm that? Can you confirm that's him? Because that's awesome. I really appreciate that video that you put up, and I want to try and play it. I don't know I guess I can try and play it if some people in here didn't see it, but I don't know if you'll be able to hear it. If this doesn't work and you guys can't hear this, please just tell me and I'll press pause.
In person.
Here we go.
Yo, Litecoin fan, this is at John Kim 77. Dude, I cannot believe it. We're at Starbucks. There's a guy that recognized this t-shirt and wanted to know if I'm that guy on Twitter. He watches Crypto Capital Venture Dan's video, and he's a fan of Dan and fan of Bitcoin Ben. Downloaded the local wallet. I'm going to post that video at the end of this video. I sent him $5 so that he can, use it for coffee next time. Hey, introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, my name is Sean. It's a great honor to meet John Kim in person. Very pumped about Litecoin. I'm a true hodler. I'm a big fan of crypto capital venture. Big fan of Dan. Watch all his videos. When I have time, I watch. I'm a big fan of Bitcoin Ben. Yes, so this is video every day on my way home to work. So learn a lot from it and go Litecoin.
So when's the first time that you actually started buying Litecoin?
Last year, around middle of last year.
Last year. Okay. Are you?
So John Kim, and let me try and maybe I can move my mic clear or closer so you can hear me better. So John Kim out at a Starbucks runs into this guy, Sean Lee, who recognized John from the live stream we did like last week or whatever. Absolutely insane. The cryptocurrency virus is spreading. It's a healthy virus though. It's a good virus. But what's funny is this was posted earlier today, and then we've got somebody posted. Where is it? Here, Sam LTC, Uncle Sam 520 said Sean Lee's in the house, and I commented. I said I'm not sure I can trust this. Someone confirm. So apparently Sean Lee just signed up for Twitter. I don't know if it's true. But if it is, somebody out there let me know, because definitely want to support Sean Lee on his new journey into cryptocurrency, right? So go follow him, assuming it's real and not somebody just trying to steal Sean Lee's name to get some followers. So next up, I did a poll. I forget who mentioned it in a chat we have on Twitter. I can't remember who it was, but they said do a poll who has stronger community. So I decided to do a poll between Bitcoin and Litecoin. I was going to add some others in there. Decided to stick with Bitcoin and Litecoin. I said who has a stronger community of support, collaboration, and overall harmony. And so you can see 438 votes so far with 17 hours left. Litecoin killing it right now. And I agree. And I even said this. Somebody said Litecoin doesn't fight, rather loves. And it's so true. And I commented, I said, not to sound cheesy, but when I think of Litecoin, I really do think of a loving community. That is pretty cheesy, right? But I don't know how else to explain. Like all the people I've met on this channel, on Twitter, just people I've become really good friends with. Like it's crazy. Like there's love in the air, everybody. And it's with that mutual respect between newbies, people have been here for years. I think that goes an extraordinarily long way in building a foundation for a successful cryptocurrency. It's very important to note that, because whether you're building a startup and you're in the startup world, team is everything. Culture is everything in building good teams, successful companies. And I've seen successful companies that thrive on those things, and I've seen startups fail because they just don't have that culture. They don't have that camaraderie, right? That teamwork feel, and it goes a long way. And I think Litecoin is probably number one in terms of that. So Poseidon Lou, 1999 super chat, dude. John's the man, he says. John is the man. Lou, dude, that $20, you should be buying this dip. That's not financial advice, Lou. Poseidon Lou, I appreciate the super chat, man. If you keep sending super chats, so I'm gonna start buying Litecoin for you. Drew Blood with a 1999 super chat. Buy and hold. Tag your it, Lou. Drew Blood, same to you, dude. What are you doing? $20. That almost buys a half a Litecoin at this point, which is extremely, extremely sad. But go buy some Litecoin with that 1999. Drew Blood 21 super chat, and appreciate that, fellas. You guys are awesome. So really talking about price, right? Thanks again, Drew Blood and Poseidon though. Talking about price, I have a couple more tweets just to look at. So Joseph Young, really cool. He's on Twitter. Go follow him. I am Joseph Young, at I am Joseph Young, if you're not following him. But he tweeted earlier, he said, I remember I wanted to sell my crypto in January of 2017 when Winklevoss Bitcoin ETF was rejected and Bitcoin dipped below $900. Ether was around $15. Even though I've invested in Bitcoin since 2013, he wanted to sell. Most people are panic trading, buying and selling news. Don't fall into that trap. That is on point, to the money, and he always has really solid tweets. He jam packs it, makes awesome points, and this is one of them. Most people are panic trading, buying and selling news. Don't fall into that trap. It's incredibly true. And to kind of piggyback off of that, I tweeted not long ago, I said the amount of fearful and negative comments on my YouTube videos makes me so bullish. Because right now there's an incredible amount of emotion. There's always a lot of emotion in cryptocurrency. Even if we're up 50%, down 50%, the emotion is real. But when we're down, right, and we're seeing these areas right now, $75 Litecoin, $7,300 Bitcoin, the emotion of fear is just very loud. It screams in my face when I'm reading through YouTube comments. And when that happens, I start to kind of really raise my eyebrow, and I'm like, this is bullish. When there's more fear, that is an extraordinarily bullish sign to me. Dude, OT23, I don't even recognize that screen name. 1999 super chat. Love the channel, OT23 says. Appreciate that. And it looks like I'm trying to see what your profile picture is. I can't make it out. From here, it looks like a cool car. OT23. I'll say what I said to the two previous fellas, Drew Blood and Poseidon Lou. Go buy some Litecoin with that, 1999. I truly appreciate the support, man. I really do. Thank you. Unexpected. I'm hoping you guys are buying the dip too. That's not financial advice. I keep saying that, but I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say buy the dip. But it's a nice accumulation area if you're long, because in 2 years from now, these prices, whether it's $50 or $70 or $90, these prices, in my opinion, are going to be ridiculous. Tech Lord says full video by John was just posted on YouTube. So full video from Tech Lords. Are you talking about the full video from the Starbucks video? Because that's cool if there's more to that. V Parl says Bitcoin is going up very soon. We have someone in here says sorry, Bitcoin going to zero. Buy the dip. Litecoin looking great. So okay, so Tech Lord says that the video is on YouTube. By the way, guys, I think I'm going to if anybody wants to help and be a moderator, a lot of times like I can't get the links posted in here, so it would be cool if if anybody's out there that wants to volunteer or kind of moderate the chat, and when we're talking about links or something like that, maybe post the links. And then sometimes the chat gets kind of crazy with some haters, and it gets hard to like block everybody while I'm live streaming. So anyway, so here's my tweet. The amount of fearful and negative comments on my YouTube videos makes me so bullish. So, and it's true. So let's look at it. Here we are. And this, first of all, what we have on the chart is that 618 and 786. If you've been watching my videos on Bitcoin, that's from the 4-hour chart. And you can really see we broke through. We did not hold strong at that 786. Today we broke through it, which definitely it's not a fun thing to watch happen. Was really hoping to see support there. But one thing I do want to note is on the stock RSI, which we've also been tracking closely in terms of getting a bounce here soon, is the fact that Bitcoin is in that oversold area. So it's oversold on the daily, very in that very similar area that it's been in on these previous two dips that we had into oversold. So those previous two dips being right here, you can see on the screen, and then right here. So in this trend that we're in, we do still have from this area a higher low in play, right? It's still in play. But what is definitely not fun to watch happen is the fact that as Bitcoin broke through the 200 EMA on the daily, it then broke through the 618 and the 786 that we had up on that 4-hour. But right now, and this is like probably one of the most critical things we can look for right now, this might be synergistic with something Tech Lords was just saying. I forget the number he has as support, but you can see right at this $7,300 area is a 50 EMA on Bitcoin daily. Simply put, that is our next area to look at for support. We have on the daily 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 6 pretty strong red candles. 4 are pretty strong red daily candles. we're extremely oversold and overextended right now. What will be interesting to see is if we do bounce from, kind of where we are, will be interesting to see how hard of a bounce, will any volume come into the market? Because really what we want to see, actually let me tell you what we don't want to see. We don't want to see us stall out before $8,400. We 100% must, in my opinion, break the $8,400 to create a new higher high on this uptrend. If that doesn't happen, if we see resistance, I think that resistance in that area could be a good sign that this ship might be going back down, and then this might be just a lower high on the long-term zoomed out chart. So just want to throw that out there. I don't mean to sound bullish or bearish, I really don't, but we have to kind of take the chart for what it is, because this second lower high or third lower high that we had back here, right? You remember, like, it's very similar to what's actually happening right now. We broke through the 50 EMA. You guys see that, right? Broke through the 50 EMA, broke through the 200 EMA, and then we stalled out up here, and we got this slight cross of the 50 above the 200, and then we just broke back down through the 200, back down through the 50. So similar thing, we're kind of stalling out right now. We've already broken back down through the 200, and we're approaching the 50. So we're kind of, if you want to compare it to that second, or I guess we can call it the second lower high, we're kind of like in this area right now. So I know the chart is looking extremely messy right now, apologies, but what we can do is, so on the daily, before we leave the daily, I want to point out the RSI. So RSI, we did this on a video the other day. Basically, these higher lows that we're looking for in Bitcoin, it's displayed nice, it's illustrated nicely on the RSI. So here was our trend line. I don't even remember. I think I drew it probably three days ago, maybe 2 days ago. So you can see we're approaching this area on the RSI. So right now, hopefully we begin seeing support in this very overextended area on the stock RSI, and we get a bounce back up, and we create and form, a lower high. So, or a higher low. I'm sorry. So let me catch up with the chat a little. Poseidon Lou with a $14.99 super chat. This nut. Poseidon Lou, you're killing me, man. Tech Lords, thank you, Lou. Okay, so Poseidon Lou says, I nominate Tech Lords for moderator. Tech Lords, if you're down, that would be awesome. I know we're chatting over there on Twitter, so let's talk about that. That would be extremely helpful. Is anyone going to Crypto CoinCon at the Valley Forge Casino in PA? Is that really a thing? I didn't even hear about that. Jacob Smith, Dan already earned 1 Litecoin during this live stream. You guys, super chats, I can't even tell you how grateful I am when you do that. I want to let you know. But right now, I'm saying we have a nice area potentially for accumulation. So, just keep that in mind. Instead of super chatting Dan from Crypto Capital Venture, you might want to super chat your Litecoin wallet, if that makes any sense. So Jim Flanagan says all coins are down. Very true. What bugs me probably the most in terms of like social media comments, especially in regards to Litecoin, is when someone comments, and it actually just happened before I got on the live stream. Someone basically said, Charlie Lee destroyed Litecoin. Litecoin's so down right now because Charlie Lee. I don't understand. How can you not look at the whole entire cryptocurrency market and realize everything's down right now? Chris Andre says, capitulation soon. So kind of agree with that. Capitulation soon. It could potentially happen if we break. I don't want to go back to the daily because it's all messed up, but here's zoomed out on the 4 hour. If we break this area, especially on Bitcoin, if we break this area, and I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. I don't think we're just going to tank, but I think that would be where capitulation really happens. So we covered daily. What we're looking at on the daily. You can see we've already broken this 200 EMA around 73.70 on the 4 hour chart. So that was kind of the first line of defense in terms of this downtrend that Bitcoin's been on. in relation to that 618, the 786 channel we had, that 7370 at the 200 EMA on the 4-hour was the first line of defense. So now our next line of defense, like we just talked about on Bitcoin, is this 50 EMA at 7300. So Litecoin, I did a video on Bitcoin and Litecoin in terms of this falling wedge, and Haroon says, Dan, want to buy a lot of Litecoin? What price target I should look for? I don't usually give price targets in context of, buying recommendations. I never want to influence any of you guys in terms of like telling you when to buy. I just kind of want to, if I'm like very keen on a certain channel and accumulating myself, I sometimes talk about that. But I never want to give out recommendations, because this is not financial advice. So Litecoin on the weekly, I did a video the other day about, I think it was earlier today, I did a video about Bitcoin, Litecoin, falling wedge. You see it on the charts, and there it is. Falling wedge is a bullish reversal pattern that lasts anywhere from 3 to 6 months. Right now, from December, we're obviously, we're a little over 6 months here. So the question is, and it doesn't have to last exactly 3 to 6 months, but the question is, are we going to, and let me go to Bitcoin. Actually, I erased the Bitcoin falling wedge, but let's stick with Litecoin. So the question is, are we going to find support here at the bottom of this channel, or are we going to break up finally? Those are the two questions that I talked about in relation to the falling wedge. So one thing I wanted to point out on this live stream was how oversold we are on the weekly. Litecoin extremely oversold, and I want to go to Bitcoin real quick. I wish I had this Bitcoin falling wedge up, but I don't. So one thing that's crazy interesting is Bitcoin on the weekly, completely different looking than Litecoin. And let me move some of this. So you can see Bitcoin with upward momentum on the weekly, and Litecoin just still stuck in this oversold area. So that tells me one thing. Litecoin will potentially pretty much keep following Bitcoin in terms of, hey, if Bitcoin's up, Litecoin's going to probably be up, maybe not as much. If Bitcoin's down, Litecoin's probably going to be down, maybe down more. But one thing that Litecoin is well positioned for is if Bitcoin does go on a run, like a serious run, right? Litecoin has an incredible amount of space in terms of momentum. Look, and you can even see how low volume has been with Litecoin down here in the last like 5 weeks or so. So a huge burst in Litecoin can really come out of nowhere. And it's very reminiscent of our days back in, this was an upward trend, obviously, but our days back in, let's see, I guess we can say this area right here. You can see that weekly trading sideways. You can see this weekly part of Litecoin trading sideways literally a year ago. You can just look at that, right? And then all of a sudden, Litecoin just comes out of nowhere and explodes. I think a similar thing can happen in terms of what happens next, but right now all we can do is keep an eye on Bitcoin mainly, and I'm going to actually just draw this wedge real quick while I'm on the weekly Bitcoin, because it's a little different looking, and I'm not going to draw it perfectly, but it's definitely a little different looking than Litecoin. So basically in Bitcoin's falling wedge, these lower highs, these lower lows, Bitcoin really at the top of the channel here, at the top of this trend line. And then Litecoin almost at the bottom of the trend line. So in completely different areas. So right now, I guess what's worrying me is Bitcoin, if it makes a bounce off the top trend line and we go down, right? Even if we test the bottom trend line, $5,500. What worries me is how Litecoin is going to react to that. Litecoin might see some crazy losses. We could potentially be in the $40 to $50 area in a sell-off like that. Will be incredibly overextended. That price will be ridiculously cheap in my opinion. And even now is a nice area of accumulation from my standpoint, because I'm long on Litecoin, but those areas are incredibly strong in terms of accumulation. So lastly, on Litecoin, what I wanted to talk about, Assad Harar, what is it? Assad, I'm just going to say Assad says, you're only down if you sell, buddy. Completely agree. So last point on Litecoin that I had up that I wanted to cover was in a potential downward move. I think the biggest thing we can look for is this area, and let me get my price range. So this area right here, $65, right? $65 is, first off, an area, you can see over here, an area of resistance from October, and you can see it. Resistance, resistance, and finally we broke through. So that's going to be an area of possible support that we want to look for, and it's really at the top of this channel that I have, the $55 to $65 channel, in terms of, if Bitcoin breaks down and Litecoin is to follow, what's the most likely channel that we're going to kind of bounce at? And I have a $65 to $55 area. So you can see the $65 area on Litecoin would be 25% extended from the daily chart 50 EMA. Now that 25% area is very key, because we talk about a lot when Litecoin is overextended. We look at that, how overextended is it? And typically it gets really overextended to that like 25 down to 20% from the 50 EMA, and then it gets a nice bounce back up to it. So I would look for $65. Somebody actually asked me for a price target to accumulate. $65, in my opinion, from my standpoint, is a very strong area to buy if this downward trend continues. Do I think the downward trend is going to continue? I have no clue at this point. But what I can say is I'm anticipating that if it does, $65 is a nice area of accumulation. So that's why I do my charting. I don't do my charting to guess what's going to happen next. I do my charting to know what I'm going to do if a certain thing happens next, if that makes sense. So nobody knows if we're breaking up or down, but I can tell you if we break down, I will feel very comfortable and confident pulling the trigger at $65 to accumulate some Litecoin for a possible bounce out of that very overextended area. I hope that makes sense how I just described that. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. I don't think I have any other notes. Other than this little note in the middle of this chart, I put close a 4-hour candle at $73. So on the most zoomed in area that I'm watching right now, I'm kind of just watching this whole triple bottom area. And what I'm interested in is to see if we close a 4-hour candle below these previous lows in the $73 area. So, I don't know. I think if we do close below that area, I think it's going to happen quickly. We've gotten some downward momentum right now. You can see it on the 4-hour chart. So I'm very interested to see if we close below that 73. It's like 73.20 or something. So time will tell. And that's all I got in terms of Litecoin and Bitcoin charts. It's hard to do. I'll tell you what, it's hard to do charting and technical analysis. It's not hard. It's not fun. It's not as fun when we're going down, because you got to really start looking for support. You have to really start doing TA based on support instead of doing TA based on resistance. And doing TA based on support, it's just not as fun. We want to break barriers on the way up. We don't want to break barriers on the way down. So Assad says, Jacob, buy more now, cost average. Haroon bought Litecoin $80 when each was $244. My average Litecoin bought around $83. So everybody seems to be talking about their average buys. Dan Best says all seasons come to an end. So that's the question. What season are we in right now? Obviously a down season. But we'll see what happens next. Tisha says, where did you get your TA training? My TA training, like anything else, was learned by myself. Just reading, doing. Dino Party says, I'm sorry guys, I want Litecoin to go down to 20. That's messed up. That's messed up. I don't necessarily want to do videos when Litecoin's trading at $20 if that happens, but I'll gladly do them. Guinness speaks, got $1,000 to invest, Bitcoin or Litecoin? I will not answer that question. I'm sure people in the chat will love to answer that question. So I think, you know, before I end this stream, I just wanted to hang out with you guys a little bit. One of the things I wanted, thanks Austin Nuts, appreciate that, man, I really do. One of the things I wanted to ask all of you, a nice one or two question. Press one if you think we bounce from here. Press 1 if you think we bounce from here. Press 2 if you think we're about to really tank and see new lows. Press 1 if we're going back up now. Press 2 if we're tanking. I would like to see what everybody says. So wow, so we got a couple. All right, now we got the 2s coming in. Wow, we have a lot of 2s. It started out bullish, and then wow, it got very non-bullish. But still, probably like 50-50. It's crazy. Bounce after 73 set aside. Super mixes, Daniel Drozd. I agree, it's super mixed. Half, my guess is as good as yours. Isn't that what's great about this? That's what I love about this. Nobody knows. And I see a lot of technical analysis out there that is just completely, I don't know how to say it, calling certain price targets and then wrong over and over again. And I think that's probably the worst way to do technical analysis. You know, we always talk about anticipating prices, and I think that's the best way to do technical analysis, because at the end of the day, especially in crypto, literally nobody does know. And you know, anybody that's out there doing videos saying they know because they have a certain algorithm running, or they've coded something on their trading view, and they have these indicators running, it's just dangerous waters to play in, because you can get wrecked very quickly following calls like that. So just be careful with that is all I'll say. But I think the best bet is to anticipate certain moves on the upside and on the downside. And then if you do that, I think you're utilizing wisdom, but you're setting yourself up for success, right? Because you're prepared. There's 2 scenarios that's going to happen. We're either going to go up or down. I don't think the key is to guess what's going to happen. That's the natural desire, is for us to be like, but I want to know. But I want to know what's happening. I mean, we want to know, if you go to a casino and you're playing roulette, you obviously want to know if it's going to hit red or black. And if you could know every time, you know, you'd kill it. You'd be a multi-millionaire over and over. But nobody knows red or black. Nobody knows red or green in cryptocurrency trading. However, the charts do tell us stories, and those stories help us anticipate how to invest our money. So that's why I'm here doing what I do. Wendell says, I think we are depression on the Wall Street cheat sheet. I should bring that up real quick, actually. Let me see. Nope. Let's see. Wall Street cheat sheet. Let's bring it up for Wendell. I hope this is a good one. Can you see that? That's not bad. So, where's depression? Oh wow, I didn't realize depression was that far along. So depression is at the end. So Wendell thinks we're pretty much at the end of this downtrend, and we're going up soon into the disbelief phase, where many think it's a sucker's rally. So if we have a sucker's rally, then obviously what we'd be doing is breaking previous highs sometime soon, if Wendell is right. So that would look like breaking 8,400, breaking 10,000, and then people saying that's a sucker's rally, according to the cheat sheet anyway. That's what we'd be looking like. Miscellaneous Memphian says, I guess that is anger. So they think we're back here. I kind of actually, you know, if I could guess where we are right now, I would say we're in that anger phase. But I still can't shake the fact that I don't feel like we've seen real capitulation. Maybe we've seen slow capitulation, even though that's really not a thing. But it just doesn't make sense to me, because there's a ton of anger on social media that I do see, but the fact that capitulation on this cheat sheet comes first before anger, I don't know. So who knows? I bet you everybody in here thinks we're at one of these areas. Like Bart says, he thinks we're in panic phase. Bart thinks we're in panic phase. Actually, if you guys are seeing this chart, type what you think, where you think we are. Crypto Hippie says disbelief has started with Bitcoin. That's the other thing. We could be, you know, based off of sentiments that we do see, we could be anywhere. Like with what Crypto Hippie just said, that was a really good point. We could be at disbelief right now. Very true. So this run from this possible bottom, we could be in that disbelief. And we could actually be forming a new higher low. We can get a bounce up, and this disbelief phase could be very real. Crypto Hippie could be right, and we could be in the disbelief area. Poseidon Liu, $9.99 super chat. Drew Blood is a multi-millionaire, no lie. Laugh out loud. Poseidon Liu. First off, are you guys? Do you know each other? Are you guys friends? Awesome. Drew Blood is a multimillionaire. And then Drew Blood with a $9.99 super chat. Dude, you guys are... What am I supposed to do with these fellas? I really have no idea what to do. $9.99 LOL Lou. So you guys buddies or what? What are you guys doing? I'm trying to read through the comments here. Chris Andre says between denial... Thanks for the super chat, guys. You guys are nuts. So now I'm gonna owe Drew Blood some Red Bull too, Poseidon Lou. Chris Andre says between denial and panic. So denial and panic. My investments are with great companies. They will come back. Panic. Everyone's selling. I need to get out. And then capitulation happens. I'm getting 100% out of markets. I can't afford to lose more. Yeah, like how many people have actually done that? I haven't seen a lot. I really haven't seen anybody that's like, I'm completely out of the markets. Maybe it'll never happen, you know? Maybe people slowly just phased out. You know, we lost a lot of investors in the markets, and maybe there's not going to be any capitulation, right? Who knows? But very interesting chart to say the least. Kevin Smith says we're in normal phase. What is normal phase? I don't even think that's on here. Normal phase. I'm angry at my minor gear, if that counts. Guinness Speaks is angry at his minor gear. Litecoin tanking hard. Yep, Litecoin is not looking beautiful. But wow, look at that sideways trading for 5 weeks. At closer to the bottom of this falling wedge, insanely oversold. I mean, just looking at this, if you're brand new, right? If you're just like you've been trading stocks for years, right? And all of a sudden you hop into these markets and you're like, let me take a look at Litecoin. I've never heard of Litecoin. You know, I'm pretty familiar with Bitcoin. Let me go look at Litecoin chart. You bring up the weekly. This weekly chart is not looking bad. It's been an ugly, 7-8 months or whatever, but in terms of the setup that is in play right now, Litecoin, extremely oversold. And every time we've been this oversold, we've gotten nice bounces. I mean, you can go back, I'm on the Coinbase chart right now, but you can go back years and you can see when Litecoin has been this oversold, you can see the bounces that we get, especially in, bullish reversals, not even just in a bullish uptrend, but actually after like a bear market, a bullish reversal coming out of the oversold. So really, that volume, that crazy momentum back up and out can come out of nowhere at any time. And that's probably the most interesting thing to me. That's probably, everybody talks about being ready for the downside, but you really want to be prepared for the upside, because FOMO is a real problem as well. You don't want to get emotionally dragged into just buying on the way up and then seeing us stall out finally at a certain area. And a lot of people did that right here. And they got stuck up here. They FOMO'd in. And they might have been watching the charts for a while, but they FOMO'd in when the market went crazy. So that's something to be ready for. If you love cryptocapitalventure.io, press 1. I love it. Nick LTC in the house. What's up, dude? It's good to have you here. If you're still here, I'm kind of catching up with comments right now. We've got Todd Mullis, $1.99 super chat. Vets are throwing in the towel now. I'm curious, Todd, what you mean by that. Thank you for the $1.99 super chat, by the way. Really appreciate that. Really do appreciate that support, man. Poseidon Lou. And Todd, if you can, vets are throwing in the towel now. Let me know what you mean. Poseidon Lou with $14.99 super chat, dude. Drew Blood is 3 foot tall. Seriously. Dude, you guys must be friends, because you're calling him out quite a bit right now. Drew Blood is 3 feet tall. Seriously. Dude. I'm going to have to get up. Drew Blood 21, $9.99 super chat. Yeah, we know each other. We know each other and we work together. And I'm not 3 foot tall. More like 6 foot. Make it rain. Dude, Drew Blood, what is your, you might have told me before, but what is your name? I don't know what to do with these super chats. You guys, these super chats make me feel like I just need to shut down early, because I don't know how to handle you guys. Thornton Plumbing, $1.99 super chat. Appreciate that, Thornton Plumbing. I really appreciate you always in here, always in these chats. Nick LTC, Gemini will list eventually. Gemini is listing Gemini. Mexican Charlie Litecoin, I mean. Gemini is listing Litecoin. Absolutely, eventually. I wonder what will happen when that happens, price-wise. But could it potentially be anything like what we saw before? Boiling Point Mechanical in the house. What's up? What's up, Rob? Rob, did you unfollow me on Twitter, dude? I thought we were boys. I'm kidding. So I'm trying to find Todd, who super chatted and made a comment about veterans leaving. I really wanted to see what his thought there was. I can't find Todd's comment. I cannot find Todd's comment. Sorry, everybody, if you're here watching me go through these comments. Shielded by God 1. Awesome screen name, by the way, and a $10 super chat. I don't think I recognize that screen name. Shielded by God 1. I love that. Thank you so much for that support. Thank you so much for coming by the channel. Again, anybody super chatting, you guys should be super chatting your Litecoin wallets. You don't have to super chat me. You guys being here commenting and talking is more than enough for me. So thank you, Shielded by God. God bless you. Poseidon Lou with $9.99, making it fun for everyone while the market is down. Actually, that's kind of why I started this live stream. I was telling Sarah, I was like, I don't usually do live streams when the market is down. I usually do it when it's up because, there's more happiness to spread around and people just seem more excited. But I was like, I'm going to go do a live stream while it's down to try and add some moral support, kind of hang out with all of you guys. Last thing I expected was for super chats right now in this down market. So Poseidon Lou, everybody else super chatting, you guys are ridiculously awesome. And it does make it fun. I mean, I don't know how to react, but I appreciate it. Now go buy some Litecoin. That's not financial advice. Cool, shielded by God. Thanks, Dan. I mostly watch. You don't like Super Chat? Then shut it down. Pretty sure you love it and you deserve it. No, yeah, don't get me wrong. I don't dislike Super Chat. I'm not like, I don't dislike it. But you got to sit in my chair, and you have, if you could only realize what it feels like to be here when this happens. Todd Mullis says YouTubers are selling alts. Most vets are Bitcoin maximalists. Interesting. So actually, while I have everybody here, thanks Kevin Smith, who says you're a super guy. You're awesome. While I have you guys here, I know I talk a lot about like covering some of my clients, right? Or even recent clients that I have in blockchain space. Some of those are ICOs. I want to get your opinion. I have one that I'm going to do a video on. And first off, let me preface by saying it's not, I'm not paid for it at all for doing the video. It's more of, I reached out to the founder and told him I wanted to cover his project because it's one of those blockchain projects that I actually think are cool and good, which is why I took them on as a client originally. But I want to get a sense, like, if I cover ICO projects that I feel are, have strong use cases and are actually doing something good, are you guys cool with that? This is not endorsed. I'm not being paid to do those videos. I just kind of want to get a sense if you guys would be interested in projects like that. So let me know. I'm very curious if you could. Press 1 if it's okay with you. If I cover a client of mine and do a feature video on what they're doing as an ICO. Press 1 if you're cool with that. How about that? Press 2 if you are like, shut up, Dan, don't ever cover an ICO on this channel. And I will not be paid for doing that feature. Just more of a thing I'm interested in covering, because I'm interested in, believe it or not, I'm very interested in ICOs. I'm very interested in projects that have good use cases. Okay, cool. So we have some ones. Steven says, I'd be interested in hearing you do an ICO here in Australia. Assad says, your time is worth money. Thanks, Assad. Appreciate that. But, I agree. But at the same time, I chose to start this YouTube channel. I chose to kind of create content knowing that, it's utilizing my time. But I want to continue putting out good content, especially, as we grow it. So I'm not so concerned with the monetary aspect of doing that. I just want to see, I just want to be able to continue putting out good content for everybody. And I think it's an interesting perspective to get the perspective of some of these ICOs, some of my clients, really cool founders, really cool teams, working really hard on, actually trying to do something. So cool. Crypto Hippie asking about Bitcoin dominance. What is Bitcoin dominance at right now? Let's see. Better believe I'm on the market cap crypto capital venture site. Going to that dominance donut, 48.73. Crypto Hippie asked, do you see Bitcoin dominance increasing or decreasing? Yeah, Bitcoin dominance is definitely, in my opinion, going to increase over the next, leading up into 2019. When the market kind of gets a hold of itself again, whenever that might be, right? In a month, next week, in a year, whenever, Bitcoin is going to, dominate in terms of, it'll be well over 50% in my opinion. And then, slowly but surely, altcoins will kind of have their season, and it'll kind of go in that pattern. Dan, here's my input. I don't like the fact that if you're not quick enough, you miss out. When ICO coins finally drop, most I've seen go all the way down from people selling off. Interesting point. But you will notice the solid projects do see, maybe obviously initially after launch, you tend to get a crazy launch. up, way overextended, and then it comes back down. But then you'll see a bounce off of that bottom. So for a good project, you'll see a bounce. So if you want to play that game and try and make some money in that initial launch, fine. But it could also be a good play if it's a solid project to wait for the craze to happen and then get in. But a lot of people are really keen on getting pre-launch tokens and then selling. I don't really mess around with that. I don't play that game. But I'm definitely more interested in the technology that these companies are trying to build. But that's definitely a good point, Kevin. Rob, Boiling Point Mechanical, says, I think of Bitcoin dominance like a hurricane. Sucks all the shore water up before the storm. Wow. Rob, I didn't know you were so deep. That's a great point. Dominance will get slapped at 50. So I'm guessing Rob thinks Bitcoin dominance will increase as well, and it's going to suck all the shore water up before the storm. We are earning our future by hodling, says Chad Young. Bruce says, can American citizens participate in ICOs? A lot of ICOs, actually, including the one I'm going to feature, actually isn't even open to US right now. They're working on regulatory issues, or not issues, but just the regulatory process. So, and I know most of my viewers are from US. So I'm going to feature that. Not even because, to tell you to go buy it, because you can't. It's more of, it's a very interesting concept and very interesting model and solving a very, very important issue. So, Script Skynet, Dan, turn up your mic, please. This stinking mic. I've been having so much trouble with it lately. Let me see. I don't know if that helps, but I did my best. It's hard to fix technical issues while you're doing your live stream. Kevin says, gotta get back to work. I'll catch yous in a bit, Austin, Texas. Thanks, Kevin, for coming by. Mexican Charlie Lee says mic is good. And now, since I'm just talking about my mic, I think it's time to get out of here. So I think we covered a lot again on this live stream. Really appreciate you guys hanging out in the down market. Where are we at right now? $75 Litecoin. $75. Here's on the daily. Could we be in that triple bottom area? Could we get a bounce up? Hopefully. I mean, what do we count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 7 red candles on the daily. Extremely oversold on the daily and weekly. If we were to ever see a bounce, it should be now. You would think it would be now. What's cool, and I'll leave you with this, is you can track this on the daily or the 4-hour. But we have this little slope up on Litecoin with these little higher lows in play. If you want to use that wick as a low, right? And we're very close to that. So that's something to track. Track this channel. Have fun with it. Don't spend more than you can afford to lose. That would be my best advice if I were to give any. But remember, this isn't financial advice. Christopher, thank you for coming by. Thank you all for hanging out with me tonight. Really appreciate you very, very much. We'll see what happens tonight. I have a feeling we're going to wake up and see some changes, up or down. We'll definitely cover it on a video tomorrow. We'll see what happens. Hang in there, everybody. Thanks for joining me in this down market. You all rock. Super chatters.